How fast these waves travel through the water can be calculated using the wave equation. Looks like this. The speed of the wave equals the frequency of the wave multiplied by the wavelength of the wave. So we could build a triangle out of this, right? What would go on the bottom here? What times what? That's right, frequency and wavelength on the bottom, and then the V on top. So remember that that funny symbol lambda is a stand-in, a symbol for wavelength, and it's measured in meters. Frequency is measured in hertz, and then the V is the speed, and that's going to be in meters per second. Let's work a few examples. So suppose you have a frequency of 8 and a wavelength of 2. So I come over here and I cover up the V, because that's what I'm looking for. So I cover up the V and I see, oh right, it's F times wavelength, or F times lambda. And that would just be 8 times 2, or 16 meters per second. See, if you always use hertz, and you always use meters, then your speed will always be in meters per second. But you can work this two other ways, right? You could be given the wavelength and the speed and ask for the frequency. So come on over here, cover up the frequency. Now I know what to do. Speed divided by wavelength. That's 300 divided by 0.5. Punch that into your calculator, and you get 600 hertz. Don't forget the units for frequency are hertz. If you ever forget that, I may have to hertz you. Moving on. Let's try one with light. Did you know that light travels at 300 million meters per second? That's 300,000 football fields per second. It's pretty fast. Let's say the frequency is 60 million hertz, or 60 megahertz. What's the wavelength? Come on over here, cover up wavelength, and you know what to do. And it's just a plug and chug. Hey, do you know how to make this a lot easier without typing in the zeros? You ever crossed off zeros? You ever play this game? If there's a 0 at the end of both numbers, you can cross it off. But there's still a 0 at the end, so you can cross those off. And those, and those. There's still zeros at the end. There has to be one in each number. I can't cross off this last 0 because there's not a 0 right underneath it to cross off. But look, I'm down to 30 divided by 6. Hey, that's easy math. That would be 5 meters